This video is about my experience growing up with a narcissist. Now, there's other ways, psychologically speaking, to describe my father, who is one of the worst people I've ever met in my life. Narcissist, borderline personality, bipolar, just immature child, however it goes. But the narcissist part of it, which is particularly emotionally damaging, is like the oh, I love you, oh, I hate you, get out of my life. I love you, come here, get out of my life, I hate you. And this kind of back and forth inconsistency, especially from the position of a father who, for a young boy, always looked up to, like, this is the man I want to be like, this is the person I emulate that's going to support me, and all this stuff. So that's been particularly damaging for me, and a lot of that, and especially the way that my father's a narcissist, is the expression is that he's very violent. Mostly it's verbal abuse now. Well, exclusively verbal abuse now to me. But growing up, he hit me and my brother and my sister and my mom, especially my mom. He's very violent, and it only stopped because I got too big for him. When I was about 15, I fought back, and then that was the end of that part of it. But it never ended the violence. The violence is always there. And I've been going through this healing now, where I've realized that there's like a tension deep in my neck from basically like PTSD from that relationship. So the thing about all of this is that now, as a grown man, I have to be accountable for myself and how I want to live my life, and what do I want to inherit from him, and move in my life expression as an expression forward and pass on to the next generation. Because the thing is, for as toxic of a person as he is, and this is the hard thing, for such a shitty and toxic person that he is, the more, as long as I hold on to my anger and resentment towards him, like I'm just as toxic as he is. I mean, in a different way, he created it, but I'm holding it, so it's me too. And I don't want to let it go. And in that sense, like I have so much hatred and resentment towards him. Like if he could just fucking die, it would make my life better. Like I can't wrap my mind around any other possibility. Not only mine, everyone who knows him would be better off. But then, so something my mentor had mentioned to me a little while back about a separate thing was, well, what am I getting out of it? Like, why am I indulging this, and what do I get out of it? So there's two things there, and this is something, if you were in a toxic relationship with a narcissist, there's two things that I recommend you look at. The first is the wounded healer. I am myself a healer, and these are clearly wounds, and it's the wounded healer narcissist dynamic that that drives this codependent kind of relationship of toxicity and feeding and enabling and all that. And I think what that really just comes down to is boundaries. Having compassion with boundaries, and it's not your place to fix anybody. Not that you even really could. You can't change people. You can't force anyone to be different than they are. So, you just got to let that idea go. The second thing is there's a sense of righteousness in the anger, because it's like, well, didn't you see what he did to me? Like, can't you see what he's doing? Like, but it's like, it's indulging a sense of victim, as well as the righteousness of like, I'm allowed to be angry and resentful because of him, and look what he did to me. um, and and really, just for me, just to even have this cathartic experience of making this video and thinking about it right now, just acknowledging that it's my ego wanting to hold on to that sense of how dare he do that to me. um, that kind of helps to dissolve it a little bit, to maybe like loosen it up. um, and this is also a hard part, is intellectually I get this, but deeper inside it's hard to really like let this sink in, is that the person that he is has nothing to do with me. And all that pain that he has, and all his anger and his resentment towards life, and his fears and worries and anxiety and all that, that's all him, and it has nothing to do with me. And that's particularly hard because we're family. We're as close a family as it gets. He's my father. So it's hard to really let that sink in, even though I know it, but to be mindful of it all the time. So yeah, this is just something that I'm going through right now, and I hope that in sharing this, it helps anybody who may be watching. So good luck, and if you want support, feel free to reach out, or if you want to share your experience, in the comments below. Thank you.